Bob Willard, and I'm a committed Christian and certainly not ashamed to admit that to anyone who inquires. Well, first, I think Christians need to wake up. I think, frankly, the church needs to wake up. Most Christians that one meets haven't the faintest idea what goes on in the political realm and don't seem to have an awful lot of interest in what goes on. It's almost as if some of the teaching in the past has been we have to come out and be separate. We have to withdraw from the world. Well, if the Christians withdraw from the world, it's like turning the lights out. And that's exactly, in my view, what has happened largely in this nation. The Christian community, not at the local voluntary level, not in terms of all the wonderful work people do at the voluntary level in churches and in charities and in other ways in the community, but in terms of influencing the national or local political debate. I think many Christians don't see it as their place to get involved or to be active in that area, and I think that's a great shame. And we live in extraordinary times where more than ever I think the Christian message, the gospel, needs to be heard, and heard clearly. And more than ever, people need to stand up and be counted. And so I have no hesitation at all in saying to my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, please get involved in any way you can in the local community. I think the thing you need to, first of all, be aware of is that you don't go in like a bull in a china shop. If you do, you'll get a very adverse reaction. You know, just as in life generally, you have to build relationships, so you have to build relationships in the political realm as well. And those relationships that you build, you know, obviously there's trust that comes into the equation, integrity comes into the equation, sincerity, honesty, all these things come into the equation. And so you are building, you know, your relationships with others, you're working with others. You may not always agree with them, they may not always agree with you, but there'll be a number of things you do agree on, and a number of things that you can speak out on, and people will then begin to realize, he's bound to speak out on this issue, or bound to have strong views on that issue. Try and find out who does what, and then either write to the leader of the council, or write to the chairman, or write to your local councillor. Invite your local councillor to meet you, or go and meet him or her. Get involved. You know, don't think these things happen, you know, by chance. You've got to know your way around the system and meet your representatives. That's what they're there for. They'd be delighted to meet you. Don't shy away from it. You know, if you want to influence the agenda of this nation, get involved. And for pastors and leaders of churches, lobby. What's wrong with lobbying? Why don't we have more lobby groups in this country of a Christian, you know, of a Christian nature? Get involved. There's lots of things you can get involved in.